there was this image that people had of who it is that is on welfare, right? Like the person that is getting EBT and SNAP benefits. The image was some lazy, typically black woman, right? That was the image that they wanted to portray. But then people found out that we have 42 million people that rely on SNAP benefits in this country, and that's only $6 a day to eat, $2 a meal, which I'm not really sure what all you get for that. But they wanted to make people believe who weren't on SNAP benefits that these people are the real drain on our system, when you're worried about somebody getting $6 a day to eat, and the real welfare queen is like Elon Musk, who gets $8 million a day from the federal government.
That was Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett explaining to us a tale that is old as time, which is that Republican politicians will demonize their constituents who are beneficiaries of social services in one breath, and in another breath, they will praise and even abet and enable their billionaire donors who are draining tax dollars from our pockets by the truckload. You don't matter. Their constituents don't matter. Their donors do matter. You and I are less important than folks like Elon Musk.
For all intents and purposes, DOGE is done. The Department of Government Efficiency as an actual entity within the federal government is no more. That's according to the government's top HR official, who confirmed over the weekend that 8 months ahead of the date it was supposed to wrap up under the executive order that created it, DOGE is over.
The Department of Governmental Efficiency was so efficient that not only could it do its job effectively, while simultaneously not doing its job effectively, it also did so leaderlessly and 8 months sooner than expected. I mean, it was so busy firing people who they had no idea what they did and having to rehire those people, to sending out mass emails and then having to send out contradictory emails out right after that fact. It's just so efficient. And poor Elon Musk, who is a super duper genius and walks on water, so I hear Republicans say, he just got so busy doing more important things than to do the commitment that he and Donald Trump promised us would fix our government.
Elon Musk could become the world's first trillionaire after Tesla shareholders approve a pay package for Musk worth roughly $1 trillion.
Say it like this, $1 trillion.
It's sort of telling how those Fox anchors did that evil laugh at the end of that presentation. But $1 trillion, that's a whole hell of a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. If you spent $40 every second, that's $3.5 million a day, it would take you almost a year to spend $1 billion. $1 billion with a B. To spend $1 trillion at that rate, it would take you almost 800 years. So why would a man that's worth that much, why would a man that's worth 2,000 of those crazy Jeff Bezos super yachts, a man worth more than the entire country of Switzerland, why would a man worth that much be so concerned about governmental efficiency, waste, fraud, and abuse? Is it because $40 billion of that hoard he's squirreled away comes out of your pockets and out of my pocket? Could be. And he's far from the only one that's taking money out of your pockets.
FBI Director Kash Patel has shown an appreciation for the finer taxpayer-funded trappings of his perch. Patel jets to his country singer girlfriend Alexis Wilkins' concert on government air, and now he's facing scrutiny for using SWAT teams to protect his lady at multiple events across the country. The FBI says Wilkins has received hundreds of threats, but current and former FBI officials told the New York Times that Patel seems to be relying on SWAT agents on an ad hoc basis, sometimes giving them little notice before being sent to protect Wilkins.
There are three issues, actually, with Kash Patel. Well, there are many issues with Kash Patel, but there are three that we're going to talk about today. Not only is he using a private jet to fly his girlfriend, who is definitely not an Israeli spy, he's using a SWAT team to guard her, and you'll never guess what his special interest was before he became director of the FBI.
Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
Go take their money. Chris Wray doesn't need a private jet.
We're not the guys running around on private jets. And somebody maybe in Congress should ask for how many flights on a private jet Director Comey took, or my predecessor Director Wray took, and how many personal trips they took.
Don't knock it until you try it. That's what I say about private jets. The use of government jets for personal travel by former FBI director was sort of an obsession of Patel's for years. In 2023, Patel called former director Chris Wray a, quote, government gangster for his jet usage.
To do it is one thing. To be a massive hypocrite about it is entirely another, and it ain't very efficient. If I spent so much time and energy on national television making such a big deal about how wasteful and inefficient it was for the FBI director specifically and suspiciously to use private jets as modes of transportation, and then I later on became the director of the FBI, I can promise you, I would walk quicker than I would step one toe on a private jet. I would run my ass from one end of America to the other end of America like Forrest Gump, well before I ever used a private jet and make a fool out of myself like Kash Patel is doing here. That's just me. And it ain't just Kash Patel who was being foolishly wasteful.
But Noam's apparent obsession with image actually goes much further than just putting on costumes, because she has directed more than 200 million taxpayer dollars into TV ads to promote her work at DHS. And just to put it in context, that is nearly twice what DHS spent on ads altogether in all of last year. And the content of those ads have already been a scandal kind of in and of themselves.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border.
And if you're wondering who exactly the target audience is for that, DHS spent $30,000 to run that ad, the one I just showed you, specifically in the ad market where Mar-a-Lago is.
Secretary John Wayne Barbadol saw Kash Patel and said, "Hold my jewel-encrusted beer can. I'm going to spend $30,000 on an ad just to kiss Donald Trump's ass specifically." So, while we're giving $40 billion away to a man who could probably afford the moon if he wanted to, we're paying for the FBI director to go on chaperoned dates, chaperoned by the FBI and SWAT teams and Secret Service with his girlfriend, and paying for the government to pay for ads to thank itself. Is there any wonder why the American people are not feeling great right now?
I mean, just your costs are up versus a year ago. Groceries, 85%. Utilities, 78%. Healthcare, 67%. Housing, 66%. Gasoline, 54%. Right. The bottom line is this. Americans feel like prices are rising in each and every single part of their lives, rising, ever climber, and they just don't feel like, Kate Baldwin, that they can catch a break.
Everything right now is more expensive for you than it was a year ago. Everything. And at the same time, the government is slashing every potential benefit that you could possibly receive, unless you're a billionaire, of course. They're refusing to allow the ACA benefit tax breaks to extend. They are cutting SNAP benefits while also allowing it to lapse unnecessarily. They're cutting Medicaid at a historic rate, refusing to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. I mean, Republicans have beat us to death with those damn bootstraps that we're supposed to pick ourselves up by. At the same time, they're lining their pockets and fellatiating each other. This is why they have to do things like steal Supreme Court seats and gerrymander in the middle of the decade, like Texas tried to do. Because they know they're hypocrites, and they know that you know they're hypocrites. Governmental efficiency, my ass, unless the efficiency is talking about the efficiency in which they can bake corruption into the system, in which case they are highly, highly efficient and skilled.